dear friends and fellow artists. Oh my god, I cannot keep up filming these videos. It's going so fast. We are covering only 3 weeks this time because this is the end of part 3, and as I'm filming this, I'm already 2 weeks into part 4. So tip number 1, don't start a YouTube channel while trying to do the mastery program within 1 year. Kidding, it's not a tip. I'm kind of improvising this video. Usually I plan it out a little bit. Maybe it's going to be a shorter video. Maybe there are going to be a lot less tips. Maybe I'm going to give you a bit of backstory. And the most important thing, I have to set some things straight. Okay, here it comes. So I had a lovely comment. It's a very important comment, and I'm going to read what she wrote. Not so clever. The reasons are Milan is teaching sellable art, capitals. Not happy with your decision to criticize. You should just make your statement, not criticize someone else's process. Okay, let's start with not so clever. I agree. So if you are watching these videos to find out how to go through the Milan Art Master Program in a clever way, tip number 1, leave this channel. I'm not doing this a clever way. I wish I could. I wish I could. And when I say I wish I could paint pretty flowers, I mean it, okay? And I also, if you paint pretty flowers and are happy with it and successful with it, oh my God, I adore you, I admire you, I respect you so much. I probably struggle much more than I would have to. And no, you don't have to struggle that much. If you're clever, you copy the very successful style that's going on and you sell your art for the decorative market, and you're going to be successful if you can do that. I can't do it because it doesn't make me happy. I'm going to get emotional because I feel so strongly about these things. So no, not clever. I've been freed because of this program, getting me out of left brain. Left brain would be clever. My left brain has been overpowering in the last 54? I think I'm 54. Am I 53? Maybe I'm 53. I think I'm 53. Never mind. So it has been my go-to source. And I'm so freed not having to be clever anymore. I genuinely want to inspire and encourage people, and I think I do so better by being authentic, by showing that I struggle, by explaining the stuff that's going on in my head. And I do not ever mean that this should be going on in your head. I have nothing to do in your head other than that you can go explore and be honest about your own struggles. And I hope that in the end, I'm going to be able to show you that it's all worth it. Maybe in the end, I am going to paint pretty flowers and be happy. Who knows? So she says the reason is the Milans are teaching sellable art. That was not, interestingly, my catching line. My catching line was find your authentic, true voice, because all my life I have been other people's voice, trying to read other people's minds, wishes, and fulfill them. And I was denying myself. I was not happy that way. I was resentful because of it, probably not putting a lot of good into the world. And I have learned through the years that only if I am authentic, I can do good and I can do meaningful. The moment I focus on sellable, again, I'm trying to be in somebody else's head and fulfill somebody else's wishes. And I don't even know these people. So that's not going to do anybody any good. And now with AI, we can have generic all over the place. You don't need me. You don't need my creative spirit to produce generic art. I don't have to be an artist that way. I have created pattern designs, and I try to create stuff that looks like everybody else is out there because that's sellable. And that's like the opposite of being unique. So of course I hope to be sellable, but I can't start at sellable. For me, I can't. Some people can, and I hope for you that you can. I just have to start here and not there. Here being authenticity, there being sellable art, pleasing other people. Now, criticizing the Milan Art program, oh my God, I don't think I've put out a single video where I don't praise this program and say how awesome it is. I do differ in some ways, and I've been always honest about it, I think, right? I've been very honest about it, and I cannot be more grateful for having found this program, for having, oh my God, look at where it has put me within 10 months. It's amazing. I'm creating, I'm putting out art. So when I turned 50, the year before, I thought, for my 50th birthday, I want to invite people and I want to do a little exhibition with my art. And I was aiming to produce one piece of art per month so that I would have had 12 artworks. I had zero, nothing. I didn't know where to start. Doesn't mean I didn't make art. I've been doing a lot of digital art. I've created all my life. I've done so many pattern designs. I have actually a children's book of mine is coming out. I have taken so many art classes, so many online courses. The funny thing is, I said to myself, I'm not taking any classes anymore because they're all veering me off my own path. They're all trying to make me do something that's not authentic to me. And at that point where I said, I am not ever taking any classes again, I'm just going to try to find me, Milan Art Master Program came along and said, we're going to help you find your true voice. And we're going to help you build a portfolio of real paintings, not digital art. I was so sick and tired of digital art. And look, it's here. I'm doing it. I'm not criticizing the program at all. Okay, I've spent too much time on this. I think most of you get this anyway. So, 3 weeks we're covering. I should have 6 pieces of art because 2 per week is now the pace. But I have 104. This is now called portfolio production at the end of part 3. You have 2 per week, but then there's the 100 paintings challenge. You produce 100 paintings within 3 days. And I did that. A lot of that, what you see behind me, is from there. And that was amazing. So we'll get to it. So let's dive into the weeks, shall we? So I said I was getting tired of my own goofy faces, and I tried to come up with other faces, also linking into the one painting called Train of Thought. And I want to include that in my portfolio, and I love that style, and it's very me. And I wanted to produce more somehow to link to the rest of my portfolio, and somehow this came out. I had 0 source. I just started. There was something underneath that I hated, and I really dramatically changed it and came up with this, and I like them. I was really thrilled to produce something that I myself felt might be sellable. I last time said I'm preparing some small canvases in order to catch up. I did. I made canvases with fabric again, and it's 3 of them. They're not finished. I think they have high potential to become very nice paintings, but completely don't fit into the rest of my portfolio because these figures are not goofy and they're not cartoonized. Is that a word? And so I didn't finish them because I was like, this is now veering me off of cohesion even more, because already with these, even though I like them so much, they kind of don't fit in yet with the rest. Or do they? What do you think? I'm not sure. So I abandoned it. And therefore, of course, I'm not catching up at the time. I'm still behind by about half a week. I have to now work through all of the breaks. I cannot take a single break anymore. There would be breaks scheduled in after, part 3, but I went right into part 4 because I want to finish by the end of the year. But I have now decided, well, just because I haven't finished them doesn't mean I can't count them. So you have to produce 2 pieces per week, but nobody says they have to be successful pieces. Nobody says they have to be pieces that you can include in your portfolio. So that would be a tip. Allow yourself to make bad art. Not on purpose, but count those paintings too. The ones that are not going to find their way into your portfolio. I was trying to find a link again, kind of between these and the family constellation that I love so much. And while I was making them, I felt kind of thrilled again, like with these, to be making art that's sellable, maybe, possibly. But they lack meaning for me. But there's another problem with them. So the Milans teach you how to critique your own paintings. There are certain elements that you can go through. And one is edges, meaning a variety of edges, and that's exactly what's missing with these. There's not a variety of edges. They're all the same precision. There's not anything blurry or more defined. Here we have blurry stuff, we have very defined things, which is what pulls your focus. So edges are a wonderful thing for pulling focus where you want it. So you make the edges very, very crisp where you want to lead the eye. And then you can do so-called lost edges that just kind of, veer off somewhere and get soft. And that's what makes something also very interesting. So here it's flat looking. Also, I used these thin ones and it doesn't feel great. And that made me realize how important it is to have a surface to paint on that excites me. The really large painting from last month on a canvas that I made myself, same with these. Something like that excites me and something like that doesn't. You might want to consider more interesting canvases than the ready-made ones. It's not difficult to make your own canvases. I also painted a lot on canvas boards, which I notice now that I really like. Worth exploring. Well, they teach you not to go for the cheap canvases anyway. They want you to use the thicker ones, not these. So that wouldn't go through with the Milan Art anyway. So, 3rd week, 100 paintings. This is not where you have to do it in the program. They just give this to you as a creative exercise if you're in a rut. Now, at this point in the program, I was actually not in a rut. And I thought, oh, well, I guess I'm just going to do it. And I did have 3 days in a row where I could do that. So you should have 3 days in a row. That's one of the rules. And there are some other rules. A couple of those I broke. I have a whole video covering everything, showing you everything. And oh my God, even though I didn't feel that I was in a rut, what an awesome experience. It totally set me free. It got me to a place where I think I've wanted to come back to for 30 years. I was at this point where I was able to create that freely. Maybe I have a few artworks to show you from back then. Problem there was I never used any good paper, but I was very, very free and so in the flow, in the moment of things while creating. And that's how, in my opinion, good stuff comes out. Also, I've been wanting to paint abstracts. I said that in the last video, I think. And finally, I got to making abstracts. I loved it so much. I think a bunch of these are very usable pieces. I love those faces. I have a whole series of those. I love this series. It was ridiculously fast. This is now really influencing me. As much as it was a homecoming in a way, and finally I'm like, this is what I've been looking for. And that's why all my other painting up to this point has been a bit too, I think is contrived a word, tense. It's just not loose. And I'm not sure if it's the materials. There's only a very little bit of this with acrylics. Nothing is oils. So I'm wondering if that has a part in it. Now I'm trying to do what I did with these on large canvases, and it's hard. Maybe I just need bigger brushes, bigger rollers, something that gets me to be that spontaneous and that free. So easy also to create. Suddenly so easy. That's how I want to create. So that's definitely a tip, even if you're not in a rut. And if you do the 100 paintings challenge, also a tip is to listen to yourself, and maybe you're going to have to change rules too. The rules that I changed was, they say only work at one piece at a time always. And obviously I worked on several pieces at a time. I played around with collage a bit, which I did also way back, and haven't really found my way back into yet, but I had fun with these. So in a way I'm very relieved. On the other hand, I don't know how to incorporate that into my portfolio yet. Maybe it doesn't have to be that complicated. I'll just put it in there. I can sell these as miniatures, why not? So question, do you think it would be a good idea if I spotlight some people here? Because we're now coming to the part in the program where we need to build an artist's website and do all of that stuff. So I'm wondering, just to support each other, if you would like to be spotlighted by me, just, not everybody has a YouTube channel, and I'm starting to have a lot of subscribers, just to gain a bit of visibility, because that's what we all struggle with, right? To even be visible. If you would like to get a little shout out and I would just present your name and your website, or maybe more, I don't know, would you be interested in that? If you think that's a great idea, let me know. And if you would like to be one of those people that are spotlighted, also definitely drop me a note and we'll see. I definitely plan to continue this channel after the program is over, because that's when the journey really starts, right? And I'll just, maybe monthly, I don't know yet. I'm not making any promises. And I have another question about my signature. So I've been using Katjart, which is in a way short for Katja Reichert. R and a T from my last name make Katjart. Is that too non-personal? Do you think that sounds too fake and unpersonal? Should I actually go with Katja Reichert again? Do you have an opinion? If you do, highly appreciate it if you share it with me, because I'm at this point where I'm like, I actually have a tip, a YouTube tip again. CAI, the Contemporary Art Issue, I think produces very valuable, informative videos about art, about what it means to be an artist, how to be an artist, how to be taken seriously as an artist. Now this goes very much against being a decorative artist, so just giving you that warning. Even though I do find it dangerous to say a real artist. What is a real artist versus a decorative artist? Don't even go there, but there's so much knowledge and experience behind those videos. So I remember at the end of part 2, I wasn't sure if I was ready for a portfolio, and right now I would definitely say I wasn't. But I think it was fine and fair to continue with the program anyway. There is no harm in continuing. I'm not sure I'll have the 25 pieces that are cohesive at the end of the year, but I might, because I have a lot of them already and I can leave out a lot already. But maybe I wasn't ready for portfolio production because I'm still searching, and you cannot abbreviate your searching. I don't think that there is a shortcut. I really don't. And if you end up sticking with something just to stick with something, I think you're going to lose your joy. That's what will be true for me. Lastly, I want to share what being an artist means for me. This is something that I can share with a certain amount of experience because I'm translating it from my other art form, theater, music. On stage, I became pretty fearless. It was a breaking point for me, for my stage life, when I realized I want to just be courageous. And I think an audience in a theater, that's what they want to see. They want to see you up there on stage having courage to be yourself and to do stuff that maybe the audience themselves, they wouldn't dare do. But by seeing you do it, they get courage for their own life and they get new thoughts in their heads that hopefully inspire them. They get clarity about some stuff that is important to them while watching you. And that only happens if you're authentic and fearless. It doesn't happen if you're trying to please. Also, nothing exciting happens if you're trying to please. So that totally translates 100% from being a stage artist to being a visual artist. If you're fearful and if you're holding back, it will translate in your art and it will just be a little less inspiring for others to see it because it's, oh, that's nice. But it's not like, it doesn't have that force that you can't even put in words. You know, when you see a real piece of art, their technique maybe isn't even that great, but there's something that just blows you away. It's, in my opinion, always has to do with them showing their soul. So I want to encourage you to show your soul. It's going to be hard and it's going to be scary, but you're going to show up with authenticity. And showing up with authenticity means to live your true purpose. It's also what the Milan Arts teach. So again, I love that program, even though I'm struggling. Thank you so much for watching. As always, you make my day. Please comment, subscribe, and like my video if you feel like it. And again, if you want to be spotlighted, let me know. We'll see what I can do. Ciao. Thank you so much for watching. You can subscribe to my channel, but you can also subscribe to my newsletter on my homepage. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram. Soon I will sell originals, but I'm also selling prints and I'm selling some of my art on products. And you will receive a coupon if you subscribe to my newsletter. So why don't you do that? Everything is linked and I really, really hope to see you again. So take care.